Here are two very simple example select statements. Select star from category. Go to the category table and select all the data, all the columns and all the rows from the category table and display it. The second one simply retrieves two of the columns. So we're retrieving the category ID and the name column, and we're leaving out the parent column. Let's try those. We have already used the select statement quite extensively in these courses so far. What we're really going to do with the select statement is to discuss the various pieces of it and understand exactly how it all works. So let's look at those two examples. First of all, I want to do a very small amount of formatting to make sure I can see what's going on. I'm going to set wrap off, which, as you know, stops the lines wrapping from one line to the next. So it will be chopped off according to a line size. So I could go and set my line size as well. I could also set those two variables like this, where I do not have to repeat the set command. Let's go and select star from category in the first example. In fact, these examples are listed, as you can see from here, in uppercase. The case really makes no difference. Select star from category, and there we have all my category records. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm now going to select category, ID, and name from category. One point which is very important to note. I just stated that case makes no difference. Well, it does in some ways and it doesn't in others. As far as typing in commands, it's no problem. The case is really irrelevant. Many Oracle texts use uppercase characters for everything. The reason why is this. Because when you store things in Oracle within the metadata, all the names of, for instance, your tables and your column names are all converted to uppercase automatically. Why this is? Consistency. Otherwise, just accept it. What you need to do when you look at metadata, for instance, if you were to select table name from user tables, you would notice that all the tables are uppercase. If you wanted to select star from user tables, where table name in the word act, if that was lowercase, you wouldn't actually get an error. But if we can get around all this truncation information, you would actually get no rows. Now the reason why it's giving me all these truncation errors is because I've set the wrap. So let's set wrap on, because we don't want it truncated. And let's select, well, I'll tell you what we can do. We can actually go back to that previous command and simply mark it, copy it, and paste it. Now we won't get all the garbage coming out telling us that the row has been truncated. If I was to change that to uppercase, I would get all the details on that table. Doesn't look very nice, but the point's made. Remember, internally, metadata is automatically converted to uppercase. Aliasing. What is aliasing? An alias is like, in computer science, an alias is a second name for something, or if you could call it a synonym. Not really. That could be confusing because there are synonyms used in Oracle to give different names to objects such as tables. An alias is like a second or shortened name for a table. In a select statement, it's used to, mainly an alias is used in join statements. We will get on to join statements later. That's much more complicated. All I want to do is show you that you can select from a table with an alias such as X, and then you can reference the columns in the select statement by that alias. So you would say select X.column, comma X.column from table.X. So if we go back to the original form of our select statement, all we've done is we simply added a prefix to the column, and then, if you like, a postfix or an alias to the table. So this is how an aliased select statement would look. Now I've grayed out the where clause with the conjunction of the and because we don't really want to look at that yet. That's filtering that comes later. As you can see, all we're doing is we're saying select category.name parent.name from category parent. As I said, aliasing is generally used for joining tables. We do have a join here because we're selecting two tables. It's actually the same table, category, but we're giving it two different aliases. So what we're actually doing is we're selecting from the same table twice. If you remember, the category table has a category ID and a parent ID, which means what we have in this table is we have categories and then we have subcategories as well. So what you have here is a self-join. It means that you've got two different layers or hierarchies of data in this table. So effectively what you can do is you can select from this table twice and join the parent to its subcategories, which is exactly what the SQL statement is doing. So you'd select alias category from the first table in the from clause, .name, and parent.name, which is the second instance of category in the from clause, joining the table to itself. The actual join clause in Oracle's original SQL statement join format is in the where clause, where you take the category parent ID, where you take the category parent ID and join it to the category ID. In other words, parent to child ID. This line here with the where clause is simply ensuring that we do not get blank parent values. In other words, we don't ever get the parent categories, we only get the child categories, because obviously the parents don't have a parent, so they're null.